During the late 1990s and the early 2000s, Mexican film was propelled to the forefront of international cinema, primarily through the work of three directors: Alfonso Cuarón, Alejandro González Iñárritu, and Guillermo del Toro. Along with their common team of collaborators like cinematographer Emmanuel Luzbecki and actor Gael García Bernal, these directors are also known for their close working ties, such as Cuarón producing del Toro's film Pan's Labyrinth. Unlike many international filmmakers, the story of their rise to fame is inextricably linked with Hollywood. It's unsurprising then that their filmmaking is marked by a tension between commercial, genre-led stories and political, subversive subtexts. This is Nuevo Cine Mexicano. Guillermo del Toro was the first of the three directors to find commercial success, shooting his debut feature film Cronos in 1993, following a string of successful shorts. In Cronos, a kindly, elderly antique dealer, Jesus Gris, comes across a bizarre artifact hidden in the base of a statue. On touching it, it activates, springing to life like a clockwork bug and stinging him. Unbeknownst to him, the artifact was created by the dark rituals of an alchemist, and he begins to undergo a remarkable transformation. At first rejuvenated, he begins to shun daylight and needs blood to sustain him. For a first film, Cronos showed del Toro to be a remarkably assured filmmaker. His trademark attention to detail and visual flair is instantly recognizable, particularly in the cursed clockwork device itself. Various sequences depict the inside of the device as a cavernous, cathedral-like space, dominated by juddering machinery and a pulsating, slimy insect at its heart. A clear prototype for the infernal machines of other del Toro films. There's also a clear political subtext to the movie, with the invasive, narcissistic American Angel pursuing Gris, wanting to get his hands on the device at all costs. Angel frequently reports back to his Howard Hughes-esque uncle Dieter, whose sterile, hospital-like room contrasts with the warm, cluttered space of Gris's antique shop. Perhaps the most subversive element of Cronos is its extensive reinterpretation of vampire myth. Although Gris's transformation is initially glamorous, it soon takes a darker turn as his addiction takes hold. In one key scene, Gris and his family attend a party, only for his bloodlust to take over.
¿Está mejor? Sí.
Once he's alone, Gris immediately tries to lick the man's blood off the bathroom counter, drawing a clever comparison between the blood addiction of vampires and drug use. The degrading need for blood that Gris experiences in this scene also ties into the developing problems with his newfound abilities. Soon enough, it becomes apparent that immortality will not protect him from injury, and the film crosses over into body horror in its final act. Altogether more grounded than Cronos, but with a similar vein of dark humour, Alejandro González Iñárritu's 2000 film Amores Perros follows three narratives connected by a car crash. Octavio, who uses dogfighting as a way to win the affection of Susana, his abusive brother's wife. Valeria, a model whose career is put on hold when she is severely injured in the accident, causing friction with her partner Daniel. And El Chivo, a mysterious junk collector who secretly works as a hitman. After a breathless opening scene that establishes the accident, the film moves back in time to see Octavio and Susana's story unfold, before moving back again to show Valeria's involvement in the accident and its aftermath, and finally El Chivo's brief part in that story. These sections, separated by title cards featuring the names of the main characters, also feature elements of each other's stories. The genre elements of the film, specifically crime and thriller, as well as the loose narrative structure, allows Iñárritu to draw comparisons between the heavily stratified classes of Mexican society. A range of perspectives are portrayed, from street-level dogfighting sequences to the precarious business of high-powered executives. As characters recur in each other's stories, usually unaware of each other's presence, the film shows how isolated their worlds are. This point is aided by the immersive, handheld camera work and long takes, giving the film a gritty, realistic tone. So much so that Iñárritu had to convince censors that the dogfighting in the film was fake. In the world of Amores Perros, life is brutal and can be snatched away in an instant. Even the privileged characters, such as Valeria, have their comforts taken away in a moment due to a whim of fate. As suggested by the title, dogs are a central presence. They reflect the characters in their dispensable nature, sudden violence, and shifting loyalties. Alongside its brutal imagery, the film is full of satirical moments and dark humour. When Valeria becomes more and more unstable after her accident, her partner, who left his wife and children to be with her, is shown staring longingly at a billboard of Valeria outside their apartment. El Chivo is ignored by yuppie patrons of a teppanyaki bar and shoots one moments later. His blood sizzles on the grill, where his food was cooking shortly before. Life in Mexico, as seen through the eyes of Iñárritu, is chaotic and dangerous, but never dull. This contrast between political and social divisions and a surprisingly humorous tone is also seen in Alfonso Cuarón's 2001 film Y Tu Mamá También. While Del Toro was making Cronos and Iñárritu was working on TV in Mexico, Cuarón was already making moves in Hollywood, first on film noir throwback TV show Fallen Angels, and then period drama A Little Princess. In 2001, he returned to Mexico with Y Tu Mamá También. The film again features Gael García Bernal pairing him with teen idol Diego Luna as 17-year-old best friends Julio and Tenoch, facing a summer of boredom while their girlfriends are holidaying together in Europe. Tenoch is from a wealthy background. His father is a highly placed government official, and together with Julio, he attends a family wedding that counts among its guests the President of Mexico. Here their paths cross with Luisa, a 28-year-old married woman from Madrid. Trying to impress her, they invite her to an imaginary beach and are surprised when she accepts, scrambling to put together a road trip that will test their friendship. With a surface plot that resembles a raucous sex comedy, Y Tu Mamá También uses a number of devices to introduce a more profound tone. This marks the beginning of Cuarón's distinctive long-take style, with a number of extended shots prefiguring his approach in later films Children of Men and Roma. The film is also frequently interrupted by a seemingly omniscient narrator who describes past and future events that occur or will occur in the locations the trio visit and affect the characters they meet. This has the effect of cleverly undercutting the supposed fun of the film, situating it in a longer and more politically conscious history of Mexico.
Tenoch pensó que nunca había visitado Tepelmeme, el pueblo natal de Leodegaria Victoria, Leo, su nana, quien a los 13 años emigró a la Ciudad de México.
In between these sober moments, the raunchy sex comedy carries on to some extent. The characters are kept at a remove from the bad events around them through a mix of luck and privilege. They even manage to pass an endless series of checkpoints without being searched for the drugs they're carrying. Here, as in Amores Perros, cheeky humour exists alongside political corruption and violence. As these three directors rose to fame, they quickly switched to Hollywood productions, including Cuarón directing the third installment of the Harry Potter franchise, a darker take on the boy wizard that redefined the series' tone and visual style. Now, all three directors have been recognised at the highest level for their work, receiving multiple Oscars for Best Director. Meanwhile, a new generation of filmmakers has taken up the mantle, making more genre-focused films like The Untamed, alongside less commercial films like Post Tenebras Lux and Heli. A shift in tone completed by Cuarón's triumphant return to Mexican cinema with critical darling Roma in 2018.